Earlier we looked at words and how to use them effectively and the benefits of using them. But words are only part of the puzzle. What we say is only part of what we're actually saying. So the last educational tonight is titled Show What You Mean. Now this is the introduction to next week's assignment, which is Your Body Speaks, which is all in your manuals. So, to show us what we're really saying, please welcome Tom Trewartha.
Alright, now your body speaks. So, what do you want to know? Well, we're going to talk you through gestures. Now, I'm not sure if you noticed when I just stood up there, right from standing over the chair there, to when I came out the front here, to take the handshake. Did anybody observe what happened? Speed traffic? I'll go first.
You look at colour video.
Sorry?
You look at it.
I didn't look at it? Okay, yep. What else happened?
Looked a bit huffy,
A bit huffy, a bit annoyed, a bit like I made on the video. Yeah.
Not that bad though.
I will get that, man. Yeah. Anyone notice anything else?
You moved the stand.
Move the stand. Right. So basically, my body language spoke 1,000 words before I even got out here, and when I did get out here. Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about for the session the next few minutes is how your body speaks, or also called show what you mean, to prepare you guys for your speeches next week. This is just a bit of brief info, but I won't go through it word for word, but just use it as a reference. So I give you a presentation. What is it that you're trying to do when you're up front on stage? What are you trying to do with your audience? Connect and engage, yeah.
Give them a message.
Give them a message, yeah. You're trying to communicate a message across to your audience as effectively as you can, aren't you? Yeah. Trying to influence them with a particular story, get them a call to action, get them to try to do something, yeah. So there's 3 ways of trying to do that. With your words, your tone of voice, and your body language. Okay? Now, if you look at these 3 things in a bit of a circle that's broken up into certain percentages, one being 7%, one being 38, and one being 55. You mathematicians should add that up to 100. These 3 words are going to fit into these 3 segments. Okay, so what we're asking you is, how important, when giving your message, are each of these? What do you think takes the least weight and the most? Okay, so you know this, have you seen this one?
No, it's not.
Okay, so yeah. Your words are actually the lowest of the weighting when you're giving or communicating across. Yep. Is that surprising at all? Yeah? What do you think is the highest weighting? Body language. So that just leads to tone of voice. A little bit surprising? Can be, because you think that the words, I'm just going to get this out of the way because I don't like that terms. Sorry, the term. So the information that you give, obviously you think that it's words that you're trying to get across. Yes, it is. But with the body language having the highest weighting, if your body language isn't correct, isn't doing the right thing, isn't being used correctly, your words aren't, you're not going to get your words or your tone of voice across to the audience. Why? Because they're going to be distracted, aren't they? So we heard the example of the hair flicking? Yep. Sorry to pick you out.
Okay.
I was actually going to go up afterwards and ask about that. And that, yeah, so that can be a little bit distracting. So because of that, perhaps your words are lost, the words that you're trying to get across. So the point being, body language is so important to get right. Now thinking about, you probably could have used this information at the start, right? And then a few speeches that you've given. But think back to your speeches that you've given tonight and some of the evaluations that you've had. Can you think of some of the body language evaluation feedback that you got about things you did and didn't do? So really start to try to tap into that so you can build on your performance every time, so you can be more effective. Because at the end of the day, you're out here to tell a story because you're the expert in the field and you want to get your message across as best you can. But it takes practice, and there's certain things that you need to focus on to be able to effectively get your message across. So just 3 key points I want to focus on tonight about your body language and what you do to be effective in your story. At the end of the day, you've got the power, you've got the expertise, you want to be believed as the expert in what you're trying to get across. So 3 key areas we're going to look at is how you stand, your stance, how you move your body around, and the gestures that you use. So when you first come up here, all the beady eyes are looking at you, talking a bit nervous. A lot of your headspace is taken up with all that stuff. And really, you end up standing up here looking at some words, and you're trying to sort of read them, connect and talk to your audience, but all the nerves are going on behind here, and it's taking up a lot of headspace. What you want to try and do is clear that headspace, so when you do come up, you're ready to go. So the power of the stance shouldn't be underestimated. So when you do come up here, especially when you're introducing your topic, you don't want to be coming up and then starting to introduce and starting to walk around, things like that, because everyone's going, oh, what's going on? You're starting the distraction process straight away. So when you're introing your topic, you want to be nice and still. What some people do is a little bit of this side, a bit of rock on this side, this side. I know now here for 3 to 4 minutes, you can't get tired, I don't know. So, getting that stillness, you're commanding the attention of the audience. Then you want to start to look at moving your body. And it's really about matching your movement to what you're saying, or the story that you're getting across, or the information that you want to send. So it's got to be appropriate. So again, if you're moving around too much, old mate on the video there, he was, as well as screaming, as Tony talks about control, his thing was over here and he was out here. And what were you focusing on with that guy in the video? Totally his body language, his movement. Yep, he was everywhere. Was it matching what he was trying to say? No. So you really want to match your movement with what you're trying to say. So what you are trying to do within your stories or your presentations is to perhaps get a balanced viewpoint, for example. So if you're trying to say something like, on one hand, we've got these ideas about our society and the use of technology with the young kids, and they're all glued to their phones and it's rubbish because they're all distracted and they don't have the social skills anymore. So that's a bit of an opinion, one side of it. And you go, on the other hand though, it's really great, the guys are really intelligent, they're really creative, they're learning so much stuff from this technology. So it can be a balanced argument. So again, the appropriate use of your first viewpoint, moving across perhaps another viewpoint. So really start to think in your mind, when is it appropriate that I start to move around on this stage here? This is your stage, use it. What I find myself is tricky when you come out and there's a lectern. For me that kind of kills, I love body language and all that sort of stuff. The lectern for me kind of kills it a bit because I've got this thing there and I just want to open up, but perhaps I do need the information to get it across. So you have to sort of find that balance and try to, that's about knowing your information as well. So you don't have to rely on the notes too much. So I'll remove that back again. So I said here, when, where and how you move during your presentation can essentially make or break it. Movement adds variety, and that's the other thing. If you're standing there and you've just been on the spot, talking, then you start to get into it, move around. People are like, oh, okay, what's going on now? You're adding that flair, you're adding that variety. So what we're trying to do is maintain that engagement. So you haven't got your audience engaged, you've got to be looking out the window, checking their phones, whatever it may be. You're also trying to portray that confidence when you speak, because you are the expert in the field. And also eagerness, enthusiasm. It's amazing how contagious enthusiasm is, isn't it? When you get in people's faces and you start to fire up and you talk about something, they'll say, oh, what's going on here? So it is very contagious. So you really got to start to get that across to your audience. What about particular gestures? What are the types of gestures that work really well when you're presenting? What, hitting the audience?
Oh, yeah. If it works.
That'll disengage. That's it, yeah.
You know, the old, or the open hand.
Yeah, or, you know, clenched fist, fist pump, slap, whatever it is. What does that represent?
Force.
Force, power. Come on, guys. This is what I feel about this thing. I want to get you guys engaged, call to action, feel what I feel. Get motivated. Alright? What other sorts of body language are powerful tools to get your message across?
Descriptive body language, so small or big.
Yep, brilliant. So every time I go fishing, the fish is this big. Yeah, catch the big one. And every time Colin runs with me, his fish is like this. No problem if mine gets away and he catches his, but anyway, that's another story. So yeah, really use, and that's the point I made before with Kevin. He said something so small. I was a bit confused there. Yeah. So it really does make an impact. Yeah, it can really get you past 1,000 words. Use immediate gestures. What's the other gesture? The window to the soul.
Eye contact.
Eye contact. Now you've got to be, with all your gestures, you've got to be aware, and also with eye contact, you'll be culturally sensitive, I guess, because in different cultures, eye contact, use of a finger up, a finger down, whatever it is, can have quite different meanings. Okay, so you really want to be aware of these types of things. So your eyes, what do you want to do with your eyes to engage your audience?
Close your eye.
Okay, we'll get on to facial expressions in a minute, but just the eyes themselves.
Looking directly at one person.
Alright, so you want to be engaging, capturing the attention, looking into the soul, not really, but just capturing the attention and engaging with people. Because if you are, people feel like they're getting a personal experience here. I don't think when I shook Colin's hand that he thought it was very personal when I looked up and all this sort of stuff. How did that make you feel?
No, it's like, who is this bloke?
Yeah. We've called him in, paid him some money, and it's just, yeah.
He doesn't want to be here.
Right, don't want to be here. What don't you want to do with eye contact though?
Stare.
What do you not want to do with eye contact?
Stare.
Stare. Yeah. So I was talking to this guy the other day and he was telling me the story about how, and if you just keep staring at somebody, they're going to start to get a little bit freaked out, a bit worried, and you're going to also disengage the rest of the group as well. Does anyone have that experience where they're sitting in a presentation, for some reason, the speaker just keeps looking at you? And you're like, oh, please. Whether it's a guy or whatever, you know? You start to go, what, how can they pick on me almost? So, really important to share the eye contact around. Don't overdo it like anything, balance it, but share the eye contact, but keep everybody involved and engaged. Facial expressions. How can you use your facial expressions to help your presentation?
It sets the scene sometimes as you're talking, or gives them a picture.
Yep. Whatever facial expression you're doing, the audience is going to connect with you with that expression. So if you're really going, that's awesome, they're going, it's bad, it's done there. So they really almost emulate what you're doing, and vice versa. So facial expressions, again, correct use of those at the right time. So with those three key points, the gestures, the facial, the stance and the movement, it's sort of easy to, I guess, do them, but it's about matching them up with your content. And at the end of the day, I know for me, the less I know my information, the more I have to refer to my notes, the more it kills my body language and performance, if you like. At the end of the day, you are here performing as the expert. You use the stage, engage the people as best you can with your body language, but also know your stuff if you want to get away from your notes. Because you can have a great performance, but if you're coming back to your notes a lot, it can sort of kill things a little bit. I know I did a speech at another club called Peter, and it was a very entertaining speech, and it was going really well, but I wasn't as prepared as I would have liked to be, so I was literally out here, and I was dressed up in a hat and all this crazy stuff. So I had to come back and go, oh yeah, right, da-da-da-da-da. And it kind of, really, as good as it was, it really sort of killed the vibe. It didn't let that momentum keep rolling on. So does that make sense? So if you think about it in your own mind, start to really tick over, what's my style like, what's my body language like, how do I speak to people non-verbally, without my words? And that's what I said before, as soon as you're out of your seat, you're on stage. And how am I communicating with everyone without even doing anything? So if you can tap into that, match up your body language skills with your content, you'll deliver an awesome performance.